Breaking news, correction. Devin Haney has not been reinstated by the WBC as the full-time WBC champion at lightweight. The plot thickens. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing if you want to become part of the gang. Notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, before I get started, click on the link. It can be found in the description box of any of my videos to get ESPN Plus bundle. That's what we pushing right now. Right now, there's no live events, so cop that ESPN Plus bundle. The bundle includes ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus. You can get all three of those apps, one price, $12.99, and it does go to help the channel. This will help, during the quarantine lockdown. People are limited as to what they can do for entertainment. So if you need some more content, holla at that link. And it does help the channel in a tremendous way. Now, I made a video about it, I believe last week, saying Devin Haney was reinstated as the WBC champion because he had basically appealed to be champion again, seeing how he was stripped of the belt for failure or not being able to fight a mandatory Javier Fortuna because he had to have a surgery on his shoulder. But now information is coming out from ESPN that he has not been reinstated. A decision has not been rendered. So just so you guys know, it's not just me. There's a lot of people you see that were reporting it 3 days ago. Boxing Scene. Devin Haney reinstated as WBC champion, right? Devin Haney reinstated, DAZN, right? But now ESPN is claiming he hasn't actually been, you see, ESPN, It says, contrary to recent reports, the WBC has not reinstated Devin Haney as its lightweight world champion. WBC president Mauricio Suleiman told ESPN Haney was stripped and made title holder champion in recess because of a November shoulder injury that kept him from a due mandatory defense. Haney is seeking to be reinstated and sent the WBC a letter, Suleiman said, but no decision has been made. The vacant title is supposed to be filled by the winner of a fight between Luke Campbell and Javier Fortuna, which was postponed from April 17th due to the Rona pandemic. Quote, "We have received a letter by Haney and we have requested medical certificate of clearance," Suleiman said. "Once we have it, the WBC will address the matter and evaluate the steps to follow." Campbell versus Fortuna was ordered and contracted for April 17th, so we will take all matters into consideration. Man, the WBC, like I gotta call a spade a spade. I do not know what they are doing lately in boxing. It just seems like one haphazard or mishap after another. From increasing the level of clenbuterol that you can actually have in your system before it's deemed to fail to benefit fighters that have failed for clenbuterol, like Canelo, Ray Vargas, Eric Morales in the past, Francisco Vargas, Julio Cesar Martinez, a Canelo fighter, Canelo promotion fighter, making decisions like that, decisions to make Canelo, instead of him fighting his mandatory after beating Golovkin, whose mandatory was Charlo, then Canelo inherited those problems by beating Golovkin and becoming the WBC champion. So instead of forcing Canelo to fight Jamal Charlo, which would have been an epic fight, great fight, still is a great fight, once beaten, even though I think Canelo should have more losses, and then undefeated fighter, you could really stage that in Texas, Vegas, really anywhere. And I think it would do good numbers, good viewership, etc. And, instead of making Canelo fight for it, they said, guess what? You the franchise champion. We created a position, for the first time in our history to become, basically a scapegoat and witness protection belt. So you don't have to fight your mandatories and we can't force you to it so you don't look bad, So that happened. Then they made Lomachenko, instead of fighting this kid you see on the screen, who, old media keeps saying that Devin Haney's not ready, but look at him. Oh, okay. Look, Speed it up, speed it up. Okay, he got it. Look, he got it now. Watch. Shout out to Mickey Bay as well. Listen. Bow. Look at him. See, that's what I'm saying. They rather see, this is what they do to black fighters. They rather tell you you're not ready, you're undeserving, nobody knows you, you can't sell, rather than just take the test, you know, and see Lomachenko. Just beat Devin Haney. If it's so easy, just beat him. You know, it's not like we haven't suffered through Lomachenko fighting anybody worse than Devin Haney. You know, look at this is Devin Haney in Lomachenko's inbox. Let's fight. Look, Lomachenko ain't even checking it. I heard Lopez is trying to back out of the fight. Loma Haney will generate millions. Bro, he's at they neck. He's at their throats. You know? And again, we've seen Lomachenko fight the likes of Anthony Corolla. So if Lomachenko could fight Miguel Mariaga coming off a loss to Oscar Valdez, moving up in weight. So a fighter moving up from 126 to 130 at the time, coming off of a loss to Oscar Valdez, why can't he fight an undefeated mandatory like Devin Haney? You see what I'm saying? So the walls are closing in for old media. We knew this, but back to the WBC, just one decision after another. The clenbuterol decision, the decision to make Canelo franchise, the decision to make Lomachenko a franchise, the decision to, you know, when the WBO has given Franchon Cruz-Dezurn her belt back, they are not doing that with Franchon Cruz-Dezurn like the WBO. They're saying they have to investigate it. Why? Alejandro Jimenez, she failed a drug test in January. We're all in a pandemic, so things are slowed down. How much more time does Alejandro Jimenez get for failing a B and an A sample drug test for you to determine that she's not the rightful champion? Instead, they made Franchon Cruz-Dezurn the belt vacant or something while they look at it. Now they doing this to Devin Haney. Bro, black fighters, are they being taken care of? Like, are the rules the same? I just need to know. You know what I'm saying? We don't have one black franchise champion. Devin Haney, okay, he couldn't fight because of a shoulder injury. He wanted to fight Lomachenko, but Lomachenko and team, per the WBC, they're on tape being interviewed saying that, guess what? Lomachenko and his team reached out to us and wanted to be the franchise champion like Canelo, you know, which both parties deny initiating it conveniently. You see, nobody wants to take claim and take blame for stuff like that. But all we know is Canelo gets out of his mandatory and Lomachenko gets out of his mandatory. That's all. And they were both against black fighters. Canelo was supposed to fight Charlo and Lomachenko was supposed to fight Devin Haney. These are the facts, people. So somehow these non-black fighters both got pardoned and granted clemency to not fight Charlo and Haney. And, you know, people are supposed to forget about it. But then immediately they sent an email and said, oh, Devin Haney, you're the WBC champion. Lomachenko don't have mandatories now. He's a franchise champion for 16 fights and a loss. And, you know, ducking Mikey Garcia and what he did in the amateur or whatever. So we're making him that, and he don't have no obligations like the rest of the WBC champions, bro. You know, boxing is full of it. And then they took it back and they rescinded it and said that, guess what? Devin Haney, you know, you can't fight your mandatory because he copped an injury and needed shoulder surgery. So they said, oh, you're not going to be able to fight your mandatory, so we're going to move on. Eddie Hearn's going to put on, you know, Javier Fortuna, Luke Campbell, and Maryland. So Devin Haney became champion in recess. And then the reports came out saying that Devin Haney was reinstated because the Rona pandemic pushed all of boxing off, canceled Javier Fortuna versus Luke Campbell. And now there's no scheduled fight for it. And Devin Haney's back in the gym, as you guys seen in that clip I just played with Mickey Bay. Shout out to him. Shout out to Cleveland, you know. And then now Devin Haney wants his belt back because he's like, y'all took the belt from me, saying that I wasn't eligible, I wasn't ready, you know, ready to defend. But now I'm back in the gym, I'm in shape, you know, I got clearance from the doctor. I sat on the sidelines as long as I needed to and did the rehab, and I'm back ready, back to compete. So why should, since the Rona knocked out all the fights and Devin Haney, you know, it was the champion, he's like, why should I not be champion right now? Since Luke Campbell, seeing how Luke Campbell and Javier Fortuna didn't actually battle for the vacant belt. The other thing, like I said in the past video about the Devin Haney reinstated, this thing is a mess because I do feel bad for, like, I want Devin Haney to get his belt because Lomachenko didn't want no smoke with him. He deserves the belt. End of story. You know, there's a lot of people, this is what they do to black fighters. They're going to say stuff like, oh, Devin, he ain't beat no one. You got to take the belt from the champion. He wanted to do that. We know that. Stop playing dumb. We know Devin Haney wanted to fight Lomachenko. He wanted smoke. He's in his inbox. I just showed you. You know, he wants smoke with the man. So you can't blame him or Charlo for getting granted the belt on a technicality when they wanted to actually fight the champion to take it off him the traditional way. It's not their fault. It's not Charlo's fault that Canelo and his team reached out and made this pact with the WBC to become franchise champion. It's not Devin Haney's fault that Lomachenko and Top Rank want to keep the fight in-house with Teofimo as opposed to potentially getting embarrassed or losing to an outsider partnered with Eddie Hearn now in DAZN and is young and hungry and vivacious and stuff like that. So we're not going to blame Devin Haney for that. How can you blame Devin Haney for what another man don't want to do? He wants to get the belt the traditional way. If you don't believe me, then cancel the Teofimo fight, put Lomachenko in with Devin Haney, and then the winner fight Teofimo. How about that? See, they don't want to do that. See, I could fix all the problems in boxing because I know boxing is be on that BS. Don't you be on that bullshit? Yeah. So, man, we know what it is. But shout out to the young god, the young king, Devin Haney. It's just, it's a shame that the rules aren't being played on the even playing field. And it's sad. You know, you got a 21-year-old who's hungry and he got to go through these monkey drills to try to get his belt back when you should have just kept him as the champion. Like, I can understand if his shoulder surgery was going to keep him out a year, but he's already back. He just got the shoulder surgery in like November or December. No, he fought in November, so he got prompt surgery because you know he got money, you know, and he had a prompt surgery. Look, he fought in November on the KSI Logan Paul rematch card. He had by the first, second week of December, he had the surgery, you see? And then now he's already back in the gym ready to go. So the WBC, they should have held their horses. Look, he's already back. He don't look like nothing happened to him. Look at him. Look. He look ready to go right now. And then now you've created confusion. You've created unnecessary confusion. Look, does it look like he's not ready to fight? Bow. See, it looked like he's ready to go right now. So what the WBC did was create unnecessary calamity and confusion regarding the belts because now, like I said, I feel bad. I want Devin Haney to get the belt, but, you know, Corolla thought he was going to get a third title shot and Javier Fortuna thought he was going to get a title shot. Maybe he still does if Devin Haney fights Fortuna, but still, one of them is going to be ass out, if not both of them. You see what I'm saying? So you messing with people's lives. Meanwhile, guys like Canelo and Lomachenko, who have achieved some things in the sport and, you know, made some pretty penny and made some good money, they getting these pardons and this treatment, and belts don't necessarily define them as much as a guy like Javier Fortuna or people who haven't done or getting the recognition and made the type of money that Canelo and maybe Lomachenko have. You see what I'm saying? So belts mean something to guys like Javier Fortuna because he needs that on his resume. He needs to be a champion to get his proper respect and demand the paychecks that the other people get. But meanwhile, guys like Lomachenko get a pardon to not have to fight this young kid who wants all the smoke. You know, it's crazy. And then the WBC is saying they didn't actually reinstate him. We got to look into it. How come when it's a black fighter, people have to keep looking into it and, oh, we don't know if Franchon Cruz DAZN should get her belt back. We got to look into it. What is there to look into when somebody failed a drug test, an A and B sample? The burden of proof should be on them. The burden of proof should be on them to prove why they had this unwarranted banned substances in their system. Why is the WBC said we going to launch our own investigation? What is there to investigate? The burden of proof. And Alejandro Jimenez, another Hispanic fighter. So it's like, it's looking real biased. It's looking real biased, and it's look like you're catering to a certain crowd. We'll leave it at that. Drop it in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Devin Haney is not the champion. You know, Wilder has never been a franchise champion. Gary Russell, but Canelo and Lomachenko can get. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I promise you, new media, we control the narrative. Let me know. Get at me. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.